Hi, I'm Dr. Valencia Perry. I'm a speech language pathologist, professor, and of course, private practice SLP. Now, if you're on your private practice journey, that is a tongue twister. If you're on your private practice journey, then you know claim submission can be tricky. There are many speech language pathology practices that do not accept insurance. And I believe, one, it's because the claim submission process is difficult, and two, they have trouble navigating CPT billing and coding. I am an expert at both. But today, I'm going to help you do the first thing, which is submit a claim to an insurance company for your speech therapy services so that we can get you paid, honey. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'm going to show you my exact work through or my process for submitting claims, and I use SimplePractice in my EHR, so that's what we'll be using today. So follow me. Step 1, make sure your client is marked as active. If they're inactive, you won't be able to schedule a session, and without a scheduled appointment, you can't generate a claim. So I went ahead and I made this client active. So now I'm going to go ahead and schedule an appointment for this client. So I'm scheduling a telehealth visit for this patient. I'm going to click save, and now I have an appointment on the calendar, so now I can generate a claim. Okay, but before I do that, I want to double check his insurance information. So that's step 2. After you have the appointment booked, you want to go in and you want to look at the patient's insurance information. Okay, now that we're on our calendar for the day and we can see the patient's appointments, we're going to schedule the claim for the service. So I'm going to click on the patient's name to go to his profile page. From this page, I can see all of his appointments, his diagnosis and treatment plans. It's like his main chart. However, in order to create a claim, I first need to do step 3, which is to make sure that the diagnosis and treatment plan are up to date and accurate, and they reflect the diagnosis and the service that I provided for the diagnosis. And in this case, it does. So, seeing that the diagnosis is apraxia following cerebral infarction, and that the diagnosis is aphasia, let's say this patient has Broca's aphasia and had a left frontal lobe stroke, we're going to now be able to create the claim for this service. So, of course, I would need to enter the progress note here for the records, but I'm not going to do that for now. We're going to go ahead to the billing section by clicking on the billing tab, and we're going to scroll over here. I quickly want to mention that this patient has a $25 copay. In order to charge the copay, I would simply create the invoice and add payment, or create the invoice and then save it for later payment. Like maybe if this patient has auto pay enabled, then at the end of the day, SimplePractice will automatically charge all of the invoices on file for that day. So we're going to skip that for now, and we're going to move on to the claim, which would technically be for $75, but it's going to come up as a $100 charge because that's the overall fee. But remember, insurance is not going to pay us for the copay. That is the client's responsibility. And the copay should be billed the day of the service. So now I'm going to create the claim with the CMS 1500 form. And I'm going to just double check and verify. Okay, remember it's a $100 service for 92507, and the date of the service is correct. And I'm going to create the claim. Now we're good to go. I'm going to move myself over here. And as you can see, we have the claim that has auto-populated with the insurance information as well as the patient's information. And it's also going to include the diagnosis codes that we were utilizing. Let me just scroll myself down here. So as you can see, we are submitting a claim for one service on March 28th, and we have our 2 diagnosis codes here in pointers A and pointer B. And then the diagnosis pointers, down here for A and B are indicative of the service that was provided for the apraxia and the aphasia. So if the service was just for the apraxia and maybe not the aphasia, then we could just replace that first code with this code for the aphasia, and we would take off the pointer for B since nothing is there. Now, this was a telehealth service, and we know that with United Healthcare, SLPs often need to use that GN modifier. So I'm going to just go ahead and add that there in addition to the 95 modifier for the telehealth service. And remember, we bill in units for 92507, and so I have 1 unit of service. Now I'm just going to double check that everything is correct and accurate, and now I'm going to submit the claim. Pretty simple, right? Click submit and it's done. See down here, it says insurance claim submitted. Now, this is when you can celebrate, right? No. So we want to monitor the claim. So you can celebrate for the fact that you submitted the claim. But of course, you want to keep up with the claims and make sure that you're not missing anything, or that if you're rejected or denied, you have the information to resubmit that claim so that you can get paid. So let me just show you some ways that you can monitor that claim status. First, I'm going to just go back to the SimplePractice homepage by clicking here. That brings me to the calendar for today. Now I'm going to scroll over here to billing and click billing. So I made a mistake, and we actually should have clicked insurance. So when you click the insurance tab, it brings you to the main face sheet of the claims that you've recently submitted. And well, this is the unbilled appointments tab. So these are appointments that I need to submit claims for. I know. Tisk, tisk. So now I'm going to click on claims so that we can check the claim status of the claim we just submitted for Jamie Appleseed. Now I'm here, I've clicked on claims, and I've filtered my clients to only show Jamie Appleseed's claims. So as you can see, his claim was submitted, so I can verify, yes, it was submitted. Now, I don't know whether or not it was accepted or rejected, but eventually it will tell me that. It also will allow me to view the claim, and I can see the clearinghouse reference number in case I need to make a phone call about any questions that I could have relative to this claim. Say, for example, it was denied or it was accepted. So I'll quickly show you what a denied or rejected claim looks like, because of course I have some in my file. Here's something that's so cool about SimplePractice is not only does it allow you to submit the claims, but you can monitor those claims. So as you can see, I have a claim from this past week that was rejected because it's missing some critical information, and it gives me a status detail explaining what exactly went wrong and why my claim was rejected. Typically, I like to see rejections over denials, because a rejection means usually that there's a technical error, while a denial might mean that there's a larger problem, like maybe the service isn't covered. And so I don't want to provide a service that's not covered, because now I might either have to find the client and chase for the money, or just take that as a loss. So I would much rather see rejections. Here are some other claims that I have prepared but have not. Well, here's a claim that I've prepared but not submitted, and here's another claim that I've submitted. This, I believe, is the claim for Jamie Appleseed, because it says today, and I haven't submitted any other claims today. Here is another claim that they have received, but as you can see, they've received this 21 days ago, and they still haven't given me a status on this claim yet. So this is something I could absolutely call them about to inquire. Is there something that I need to do in addition to help them, review this claim? Here are some other claims that were accepted. Notice how the accepted claims are all yellow, and then the deductible and paid claims are green. So a deductible means that the patient is responsible for paying because they have not yet reached their deductible amount. But once they reach that amount, then it will become a paid claim, and I'll be able to receive a payment in the form of a check from the insurance company. So this is how you can monitor your claims in SimplePractice, and you can go back using the calendar app or the calendar tool. You can go back, several years to review claims that, you may have submitted in the past. So yeah, that should be very helpful for you. So let's recap the claim submission roadmap so that you're clear on what it is you need to be doing to ensure that you get paid. Remember, we've got a series of steps that you need to follow to ensure that your claim gets accepted and that money is on its way into your hands. Here are the steps. First, we want to make sure that the client is active. We want to verify the insurance. We want to check the diagnosis code. We want to generate the claim, then review the claim. Next, we're going to submit that claim. And finally, we're going to get paid. All right, I can't wait for you to get paid from your first insurance claim. Happy billing.